Ciao guys, and welcome to Metal Live. Welcome to Zagreb again.
Well, thank you so much, Metal Eye.
Thank you.
Tell me, how have you been doing today? When did you arrive here?
We drove across the border about 2 p.m. We got here, we went for lunch and did sound check, and we're getting ready to go right now.
And yesterday you played in Slovenia.
Yes.
So how did that go?
It went very well. I mean, the people were kind of well behaved, I thought.
It was good. A lot of young kids, and then the older ones along the back wall. So it went really well.
Okay, so there was a diverse type of audience. There were older people, younger people. Do you expect the same here?
Yeah, our audience is usually like teenage kids. So, you know, that's the one thing that is very good about our band is that it regenerates itself and the kids come in for the music and for the image and to be part of the Fiend Club.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sometimes for all ages shows, we have older guys like us bringing their kids, maybe 13, 14 years old, 12, 10. Yeah.
Parents teaching their kids.
Yeah, because they probably grew up at the same time as us, the parents. So they wanted to show their kids what they were into.
Do you remember your last gig here? That was exactly 5 years ago.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I find that the crowds here are very, very enthusiastic, and it does us, you know, it's a long travel. For us to get to Slovenia yesterday, the day before, it took us 30 hours. So we left New York, we wound up Amsterdam and connecting, and then driving. We had to drive from Munich through Austria. And so by the time we finally got to town, it was 30 hours to get here. But tomorrow we fly to the Czech for the Sonosphere, and we play with Iron Maiden, so very excited about that. Yeah.
So what do you prefer, actually? Do you like playing with metal bands on the same stage?
Yeah, quite a bit. You know, I think that the Misfits have a little bit of a metal edge to it ourselves. You know, we've been considered a punk band or horror punk, but when Spin Magazine did the top 50 punk bands, they totally didn't mention us. Black Flag got in, and the Ramones were #1, but we didn't even get mentioned. At first, I got very angry. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck with these guys?" You know. And then as time went by, I thought about it. I said, "You know what? They're absolutely right. We're not just a punk band. We do ballads, we do rockabilly, we got all different kinds of songs." And
you do play on metal festivals.
Yeah, we do, and we do a lot of black metal festivals up in Norway and Sweden and places like.
Kind of.
Well, you know, it fits. You know, the Misfits have a very, very strong identity with the skull and with the logo, and we're always asked, you know, to headline these kind of festivals for these guys. You know, that you can't read what their name is, so it winds up working out really well. I mean, we fit in for Misfits. We fit in a lot of good places.
Everybody's been asking you about this, but I have to ask you as well. I have to ask you about the new album. Everybody's been talking about it for years.
Wow, wait till you hear it. It came really amazing, and the artwork is probably the best artwork anyone's ever had. The whole campaign is going to be really strong. We did it with Ed Stasium, who did the Ramones albums, and Joan Jett and a couple other people, to his credits. And Ed mixed our last album that we did on Roadrunner. And he told me, he said, "Jerry, if you let me put this thing down from the beginning, we're really going to have something special." And we went out to Colorado, and my son helped with the project, and my little girl, who's 5, Eva, sang on it. She sings on it. Oh, it's amazing. She really dug in. I could see her little shoe on the stool. She had to stand on a stool. But it wound up working out really, really well. I think this album will really be the new era of this band. And I think that's really something we needed for many years. This is going on 35 years. So, you know, we've been through many different lineup changes. And if I always get the thing going really strong and then somebody screws it up. So what happened is I've been working with Dez going on 11 years now. And Goat, our drummer, actually filled in when the Famous Monsters lineup broke up. Goat was in Murphy's Law, which is a hardcore band out of New York. And he was on tour with us, and he picked up the drums and went with it from there. Later, we had Marky Ramone and Robo come and play. We had 2 drummers at one time and did 50 songs a night. But, you know, Goat's working out really well. The new material is amazing, so I'm very happy.
Can you tell me what inspired you? What was your source of inspiration for this album? What movies, what topics?
Well, the album's called The Devil's Reign.
Yeah,
and
the
Devil's
horror movie, right?
Yeah, it's based on that. I think it's Captain Kirk, William Shatner's first movie, I'm pretty sure. Then we have Land of the Dead is one of the songs. We have, what else we got? Curse of the Mummy's Hand, The Ghost of Frankenstein. These actually, what I did was I was at a horror convention, and they gave me a list of 10,000 horror movies. And I read them, and I just put a highlight on the ones that I thought had really great titles. This was 15 years ago. And I finally got to a point in the road where I was able to work on material and pinpoint stuff to match all this stuff. I thought the titles had a lot to do with the...
So you were covering those topics, the horror topics as usual?
Yeah, yeah.
My songs I wrote about from the opinion of Jack the Ripper. It's called Jack the Ripper. And I have 2 songs. And then the other song, which finishes the record, is called Death Ray. And it's kind of like when I was watching War of the Worlds, but it was also at a point when your wife looks at you with a certain way where she's not very happy with you. And note that those eyes, those death rays. So I kind of wrote it about both.
Well, you know, it's funny because when we recorded the Death Ray, what happened was we used sound bites from War of the Worlds and Star Wars, and then we called up, I got on the phone and I called up Universal and all these picture companies, Paramount, and no one returned my calls. So what we did was we made all the sounds in the studio. We actually go into a park and bang on a bench to get the lightsaber sound. So we went and reproduced all the sounds. And the funny thing is the sound of our sound is so much better than theirs. So, you know, it's kind of funny because we thanked them on there for not calling back because, you know, we didn't have to pay any royalties to the picture companies. And we made actually a better record because of it. Yeah, and it's really fun.
And actually I wanted to ask you about the music because in some interviews you said it's going to be the heaviest Misfits album ever.
Yeah, it does. It has that, but it also has, we have this song called The Monkey's Paw, which is kind of a ballad. It's kind of a sick love song, I guess you could say. And we have stuff on there. The one that my daughter sings on is almost like a 50s Ronettes kind of thing. It has girl background vocals. We have a song that, his stuff is amazingly fast. Actually, the tempo is so fast that you can't do it with the meter. We had to divide it by 2. Oh yeah, well it's thrash all the way. And actually the first time Misfits used a double bass drum, our drummer, you know, is a hardcore drummer, he couldn't wait to do it. So he had, on Jack the Ripper, he got to play double bass. I think this album has something for everyone. And I think, you know, I wanted to make a thrash metal album, but the songs kind of wrote themselves. And I think the main thing is that the music finds its own place in the world, and you can target something. We got some of that. I mean, he basically wrote the thrashy stuff, which I was very happy about. He kept my word for me.
No, but I actually wanted to ask you, how did you react when you heard Metallica doing your cover?
Well, it's kind of an ironic question because when I first heard of Metallica,
of course you played that.
well, you know what it is. Yeah, and look, I don't want to knock that, but you know, I was in a machine shop working for 13 years, and I couldn't play because I had legal problems with Glenn. So what happened was I keep seeing Metallica doing this and Metallica playing this and playing that, and then I had a band that I wrote a song called Wherever I Roam. And I gave them the tape, and then later they come out with Wherever I May Roam. I was like, you son of a gun, you know? So I couldn't play my own stuff. But, you know, I was listening to a radio station. I listened to like a 50 station.
They didn't ask you about the cover. They didn't ask you for...
Oh, it's not the same song. I think it inspired them to come up with the title. Which, look, I love those guys. I really hope, you know, anything I can do for them, I would love to do. But, you know, what wound up happening was that I was listening to the 50 station, and, you know, I was a little bit, had a chip on my shoulder about everybody playing our stuff except me. So what happened was Smokey Robinson was on, and they said, Smokey, what do you think of people covering your song? And he said, you know, that's the greatest tribute an artist can pay you, is to think enough of your material to cover it. And then once he said that, you know, I thought to myself, I said, you know, you're an asshole. I mean, why am I feeling like, you know, I'm being cheated when in fact I'm being honored? And I'll be honest with you, the Metallica covers of the Misfits really kept the Misfits, made us bigger than we were when we broke up. And, you know, we owe a lot to them. And they're really nice guys, and they're always good to us. So, hey, this is Jerry Only of the Misfits.
And Des Cadena from the Misfits.
And you're watching Metal Eye on Z1.